is Curtis coming at you from Ace Spread Studios, once again covering the 2021 NFL season. Trade deadline is come and gone. Watson deal hasn't happened. Big news for the Phins fans. Big news for the franchise. Still, there's lots of big news tied around this whole event, and that's what we're going to dig into here today. First thing that we got to really eliminate as Phins fans is shoulda, coulda, woulda, but didn't. Doesn't matter at this point. Only thing we should be focusing on right now is what actually matters to the fan and to the franchise. First thing I would like to get into as we parse all this information, media is throwing this out, the media is throwing this out. We're getting bombarded by all this media. As you see all these articles and hear all these conversations, remember, as you're processing this data, are you projecting yourself onto the situation or are you perceiving it? These are two different things. I learned early on when I got married that I would project myself as a man, as how I've lived onto my wife in certain situations, and I would totally read it wrong. It was a process of me of learning how to perceive rather than project, because projections will lead you down an ignorant path most of the time. Remember, the media, for the most part, are salesmen. The first order operations of a salesman or a hustler is to get you emotionally activated. This is the pressure sale. If you don't buy now, it's going to be gone. You only got 24 hours. They want you emotionally activated so you will be more likely to make the sale. And it's the same thing with the media. My statement here is, and I've said it since I was a young kid, because I had always had people trying to sell lies to me. And I said to myself, neither hustler or hustled be. And that's what I'm saying to you Phins fans right now. It's critical. What do we know is fundamentally true? Ross was willing to make the move. He was willing to come into a pressure sale at the last minute, got caught with his pants down a little bit, a lot of it. A commenter said to check out this podcast called Phins Side. I don't really watch too many things. I'm starting to catch up now that I'm in this space. And the guy running the show said Marino is a big Watson fan, and Watson's favorite player was Marino. I don't know if this is exactly true, but it would seem to be. So Marino and Watson were definitely, Marino and Ross were definitely pushing for this deal. My concern is that if they were pushing for this deal, it doesn't seem like they're going to have the guts to move off Greer this year. It seems to me that with this deal, it's going to be more of the same going forward. That is my primary concern at the moment. Right now, all we're being told by the media is, poor Tua, Flores, bad guy. Dolphins are a joke. This is what we're hearing. But we got to remember, the media is trying to sell. They're trying to keep you emotionally activated. What I want to do here is start breaking it down and try to see what is real and what is shadow. To me, it feels like we're being hustled again. Clearly, the Ross's optics are terrible. Now, all this information that's coming out isn't from Ross, isn't from Greer, isn't from the Dolphins. Why is it coming out? Who's putting it out? And what's their agenda? The worst of the bunch, whether it's real or not, was that Ross was pushing, I believe, for non-disclosure acts if Watson was to make a settlement with these people. That is gruesome stuff. That is as low and oily as it comes. And they ask you questions to Greer now. Didn't you talk to the women about this predator coming here? I mean, whether it's true or not, it doesn't matter. This den of snakes, one of the worst franchises as far as optics, has now sunk even lower. If it's true, it's gruesome. And if not, we continually look like morons. This will not help us in any way when it comes to bringing in coaches and stuff like that. It's terrible. Now, Greer, his optics continue. Charlatan, liar, fraud, bit of a coward. The more I study from Chris Greer, the less I like him as a person. Again, if you go check, this was made known to me by commenters. Greer's father had very poor dealings with Pete Carroll over in New England. So it was a cutthroat business over there too. So it seems like this is a repeating pattern. Ask yourself though, are the Chargers looking to make a trade for Watson? No, they're not. Chris Greer selected Tua 5th overall. He moved up to grab all these pieces to support Tua. And now he's trying to get Watson. This guy is as desperate as it comes. His plans are being destroyed, and he's doing anything he can to keep his job because he's screwed up. This is not a knock on Tua. This is a knock on Chris Greer. Again, if Chris Greer is not gone by the end of the season, our owner, our situation is dire. I ask you again, the most critical question right now should be who pushed Tua in early without consulting Shane Gailey. Our offense is terrible, and it's the main reason why we're not succeeding. Who put Tua in? Who decided not to consider a renowned offensive mind that you had on your team that decided to come to the den of snakes and put Tua in with the context of where the kid was at? Suit hustle. Is Brian Flores a coach cutter? All points to Chris Greer. But it's all about poor Tua, bad Flores, and Dolphins suck. Ask yourself, since this whole thing began, how come no one's talking about it? I mean, how do you have the spread offense that is basically running this league? One of the first guys to bring it to the league was Shane Gailey. He put on more points with the Dolphins last year than had been scored with the Dolphins since 1986. Why is he gone? Why was he not consulted? Nobody talks about it. But they'll talk about everything else. Of course, Flores is tied to the move. Flores. He decided to get rid of Shane Gailey. He's the one who put Tua in early. He's the one who decided not to talk to Gailey. It's Flores. But we know that Fitzpatrick, in the heat, when he was just revealing stuff that football players don't reveal, people are like, oh my God, what's this guy saying? He said, Flores is an honest man. He's straightforward. He talks to me face to face. He could have easily ratted this guy out if he was a rat, but he said who he was. Tua, same thing this year in the heat of all of it. You know, Flores is an honest guy. I appreciate his candor. I appreciate him talking about where we're at. But all we hear, Flores is a liar. Flores is a scumbag. Flores. Tua's family communicates, his old suit hustle, with Brian Flores by the phone. They call him Brian. They say that he's like a father to Tua on the field, and they really appreciate him. Wouldn't they come out and say, this guy's screwing my son? Any good father or mother has the antennas to know that somebody's screwing their kid. These are good parents. They would know. But everybody that's really close and honest situation says one thing, but the media says something else. Maybe it's true, but maybe not. Flores has said nothing from the beginning, except Tua's our quarterback. He's a young kid. He's in development. And everybody else in the media's got something else to say. Maybe it's true, but maybe it's not. Oh, but he pulled Tua for Fitz. He was sabotaging him. He didn't really want him. He wanted Herbert. Okay, let's deal in evidence. Are you projecting or are you perceiving? Before I get into this little bit of evidence, do you truly understand the media? They're salesmen. They're hustlers. Do you understand football? Do you really? Football occupation is not like being a mechanic or a welder or a businessman. Every job is different. Every has a different mindset. Football on the professional level is a pseudo warrior occupation with an element of the police officer blue code tied in. You have $1 billion franchise with all these people doing all this crazy stuff, all these crazy things going on. You don't, first rule about Fight Club, don't talk about Fight Club. That's football. Why do you think we don't hear all this stuff? And when somebody speaks out and really speaks, people get crazy. It's also, you're taught from a very early age to obey authority, to follow your leaders. Even Chan Gailey, after he got totally screwed and disrespected, his first interview said, this is what we do here. We do what's best for the football team. We always do what's best for the football team. Shh. You have to keep that in mind and don't project your mindset, your occupation. This is what it's all about, or we'd be hearing all kinds of crazy stuff all the time. CBS by Jason LaConfora, September 26, 2021. Numerous personnel men and coaches around the league have heard, dating back to last season, that Flores would have preferred to select Justin Herbert over Tua, although team and league sources say general manager Chris Greer consults with Flores on all big moves and in general tries to provide the personnel the coach covets. First off, in general, he tries to provide the personnel the coach covets. In general, he tries. This does not give Flores control over the roster. Like they're talking like he's got total control of the roster. Like he's like Bill Belichick. This is not reality. In general, he tries. Okay. Second, we've heard dating back to last season that Flores would prefer Herbert over Tua. This all stems from a Safed Dean article from Sun Sentinel. There was a whole 2 or 3 days of a wave of articles that came out. I even wrote for Phins News about it, saying, what's wrong with this kid Tua? Where it said that Tua felt weird and he wasn't sure if he was getting a cold shoulder, and he hoped that he still could be a Dolphin if the Dolphins could trade up to get him, and that sources were saying that Dolphins preferred Herbert over Tua. One reporter, a young reporter, a year and a half into it, made this report from one source, and all these articles came out, all this media talk came out. What's the likelihood that this is a viable truth? In journalism, you don't take one unknown source and build a case on it unless it's a whistleblower, and then later on you would reveal the whistleblower. You need multiple quote-unquote unknown sources, and at least that to make a report like this. But every article that came out quoted Dean and quoted this one source. What's the likelihood this is true? Regardless, in this article, Flores was quick to hook Tua from games his rookie season. Injuries have been a problem for the passes since his time as Alabama, and Dolphins have done considerable work on Watson, with owner Stephen Ross quite intrigued about the quarterback sources. Said sources, never names. But Flores was quick to pull Tua because he didn't want him, he didn't like him, and he was trying to sabotage him. But what do we have? We have a known source with direct quotes saying the contrary. Tua himself said on May 26 that last season he wasn't comfortable calling plays, checking plays, alerting plays, didn't know the playbook, didn't really get comfortable with the order of operation, cadence, pre-snap, post-snap reads, and he really looked different as far as getting stronger, working on conditioning, running, cutting, drop backs, throwing receivers, and his hips felt 10 times better. Other than that, Miss Lincoln, how was the play? How does Flores, who's always said it's about winning today, A, put Tua in, given this, and B, it's because Flores doesn't like him to pull him out. He wasn't prepared. Is Tua a bad kid? Is Tua incapable? He's come off the major hip surgery with COVID season. Even Gailey in August said, well, you know, he's going to be ready when he's ready, and really revolves around health and how well he gets the playbook. Tua, what did he say? He says, my parents thought it was a joke. I threw 2 passes, and they're like, they're going to start you? He didn't get any extra reps. The team wasn't notified. Fitzpatrick heard, and the team all heard through mass media. Even like Tua was like, what's going on? This was a crazy situation. By all accounts, happened like this. And by all accounts, Flores is not a liar and was forced into it. Suit hustle, is Flores a coach cutter? Or just come in and say, hey, Shane, we're starting Tua. What? Tua, you're starting. What? Fitz, Tua's starting. What? Team, Tua's starting. Oh, we already heard in the media, in Twitter. This goes back to Gailey. But Jason, in his article, says, well, you know, he just pulled him for no reason. Like, this is dishonest media. This is a dishonest report. The good news, and this is again, most people project rather than perceive. Poor Tua. All this bad stuff around him, they're going to break his confidence. They're going to break him. Tua is a warrior. This is a warrior's profession. That which does not kill you makes you stronger. The hotter the fire, either A, the metal melts and is no good, or B, it's made stronger. Tua himself, after he got his hip destroyed, had an interview and said, you know what? It'd be easy for me to feel sorry for myself. I mean, coming back, I really didn't have to. I did. And then I got injured, and now look at me. He's like, but I'm going to take a different route. I believe my God put me here in this situation. I believe I'm going to take a positive mindset, and I'm going to make the best of what it is. That's what a warrior does. A warrior doesn't say, oh, we're outnumbered 2-1. What am I going to do? That's what regular people do. That's why most people can't play professional football from a mental standpoint. Football is mostly about your mind. No, you can't be 4'2", 110 pounds. But you're in a general framework of the size and talent level. The difference is the brain, especially a quarterback, especially for Tua. Tua doesn't have the greatest skill set. Physically. That's okay. Joe Montana was a child next to Dan Marino as far as talent. Dan Marino was like a Greek god next to Joe Montana. Joe Montana did all right. Rivers was a much better physical specimen than Drew Brees. Chargers kept Rivers. Let Brees go. Who's going to the Hall of Fame? Who has a Super Bowl? This is not to say Tua will or will not. Tua's road, he's got some physical traits that are very good. He has to master the mental side. And you know what? If you're driving for that touchdown in the Super Bowl, you can't be some like little lily that's going to melt. This, from what I see Tua growing stronger mentally. And I turned on all 22 film like I always do and watch it. I decided to just dismiss everything and watch the second viewing on every play's got 2 viewings. One's like from the quarterback position behind the line or in front of the line. Watch the game solely from Tua's eyes. And what I saw was a lot of good stuff. I need to do a video on it. But I was very impressed. Again, this does not mean elite, Hall of Fame, or whatever, but I see growth. I see growth before the camera, and I see growth in his interviews and on film. Tua overcame a horrific injury. He's here. He's a warrior in a warrior's sport. And as a small anecdotal evidence, when you respect somebody, or you look up to somebody, or you like somebody, the tendency is to emulate the traits you like in them and to adopt those mannerisms. If you despise someone, dislike someone, you reject them and you act nothing like them. If you watch Tua, he's responding like Flores in many, many ways. My personal opinion, it's an opinion here, there's no animosity. He keeps saying, they both keep saying they got no problems, but everybody's telling you they got problems. And you see Tua getting better. You see him acting more mature. Now he's not almost, oh shucks, guys. His demeanor is getting stronger and his film is getting better. Fear, as Herbert from Dune, now it's a real popular, read it a long time ago, said fear is the mind killer. Emotion is the mind killer. It's the mind killer for the fan who wants to know what's going on. It's the mind killer for the football player who wants to succeed. Consider, am I projecting or am I perceiving? There are all sorts of agendas. Every which way, this is very difficult to tread. These people are masters of narratives. And the narratives they drive have nothing to do with truth. It's about selling. Fin fans, we're at a very critical juncture. Very critical juncture. You've got to be on your game. As I said, neither hustle or hustler be. Let's unite. Let's focus on the key issues. Let's put it out in the media, not be distracted by secondary issues. It's our only hope to force ownership to do the right thing, because if they don't, Beal's in the wings, and he's Ross 2.0, he's his protege. We'll never see success. Our only hope, and it's no guarantee, is that at one voice, we say the truth, we push the truth, and accept nothing but the truth. This is Curtis saying thank you for staying to the end. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Comments mean the most. Really want to hear your takes. Subscribes and likes help us with Google overlords. Keeps us in business. I'm really starting to like doing this. I'm going to give a shout out to Ace Per Head, our sponsor. They want to let you know that they're world-class software. We can get in on the action with friends, family, and co-workers as a local bookie. Best online sports book out there. Without them, this wouldn't happen. Without you, it wouldn't happen either. The fallout isn't finished. Keep your eyes on the truth, Fin fans. This is Curtis saying thank you. Catch you next time, and be well.